Welcome back to Sunday Medz. So last week was part one. This week I'm going to continue with the other 3 lessons from my 10 days of quarantine. So if you didn't get to watch part 1, I will have the link to the video at the end as well as in the description below. So lesson number 3, there is fellowship in suffering. I know that the verse is talking about being persecuted for righteousness' sake and sharing in that suffering with Christ, but anytime I'm not feeling well, I am just always like, yeah, I'm sharing in the fellowship of suffering, not just with Christ, but with all of humanity. And it increases my empathy, my compassion, my understanding, and my skill set on how to pray for an individual. It helps you to pray for others who are ill because you have a more intimate knowledge of all the different aspects of that kind of struggle. And we are royal priests, and a priest has to bring the needs of the people before God. In order to do that, we need to be in touch with what is going on around us, including the suffering. Thankfully, we do have the grace and power of the Holy Spirit to go through these things. There are things gained from going through times of illnesses or suffering. It really gives us a greater skill set to operate as intercessors, as priests, as friends, and to be more Christ-like. Lesson number 4, we are human beings. A lot of us emphasize the doings, but being sick with COVID and just having to lay on the bed day upon day upon day because I had no energy, I was not feeling well, it just reminded me that life is about being in a relationship with God, and the quality of our relationship with God depends on how much of His love we are willing to accept. It is the most freeing thing to know and understand that the love of God is unconditional, but it's a very difficult thing to live out at times because it's so countercultural, it's so counter to what we grow up learning of how the world operates, which is very conditional. Lesson number 5, it is God's sustaining power that fuels everything, including our relationship with Him. My relationship with God does not hinge on how much I pray, how much I read the Bible, how much I fast, how much I worship. Because in those days of not feeling so great, my devotional times were sometimes hazy. I wasn't able to pray or read the Bible as I was used to or as I wanted to. So it was just reassuring to know that God is the one powering this relationship with me and Him. He's not there saying, oh, Candine hasn't spent the usual time in devotion today. She hasn't been reading her Bible and doing all of these things. The love of God, it is just so free and so pure and so effortless to just lay there in bed and just receive all day long, even for an entire 10 days. And really and truly, that should be our posture for all of our lives. It is not about our striving, our doing, our efforts. It is just about receiving the free gifts of God and His offer to be in a loving relationship with us. So once again, thank you all so much for the support and the prayers. It really got me through my bout with COVID, and I pray that this is useful to any of us going through a difficult time, any of us going through any form of illness or suffering or trial. Let us be there for each other. Let us continue to receive freely and as much as we can of the love of God on a daily basis. Be encouraged. See you next time.